Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudriyam Nastapradeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhagavate Nice Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langaiti girim yatkripatam vande Shri Gurun Dayatarinam Paramananda Madhava Shri Chaitanya Ishvara Hare Om Tat Sat Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Hare Krishna, seeking the blessings of all the Vaishnavas in our Gaudiya Sampradaya lineage. First of all, my beloved Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada and all other my Siksha Gurus, seeking their blessings. I am going to continue our Bagavad Gita session. So we have stopped at the chapter 1 and sloka 10 last session. Now we are going to discuss about Bhagavad Gita chapter 1, session 11, 12, and 13, 14 we are going to discuss. So let us recite the sloka of 11th and 12th from first chapter Bhagavad Gita as it is by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Hope you are all getting good and you are having a good healthy time by enjoying Bhagavad Gita sessions given by so many devotees in our society. May Jagannath Baladev Subhadra in Hosur Kshetra bless everyone everyone to get peace and harmony, so that we may all immerse or sail in the boat of spiritual planet, so that we will be delivered from this cycle of birth and death. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much for participating this Bhagavad Gita as it is session. The chapter name is Observing the Armies or Arjuna Vishada Yoga. So as we already seen in our previous chapters, Duryodhana was expressing and demonstrating all his diplomatic thoughts and diplomatic talents, so that each and every great kings of his party like Bhishma, Drona and other kings should be very very enthusiastic, encouraging, and they should get the spirit of killing his Duryodhana's enemies Pandavas. That was his the major strategy of Duryodhana. That was his surgical operations, I can say, in a modern in modern terms. So the 11th sloka we can recite. Ayane Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yata bhagam avastitah bhishmam eva abhirakshantu bhavantah sarvayeva hi ayaneshu cha sarveshu yata bhagam avastitah bhishmam eva abhirakshantu bhavanta sarvayeva hi. Word by word. Ayaneshu, the strategic points. Cha, also. Sarveshu, everywhere. Yatha bhagam, as differently arranged. Avastitaha, situated. Bhishmam, unto grandfather. Bhishma, Eva, certainly. Abhirakshantu, should give support. Bhavanta, you. Sarve, all respectively. Eva, he. Certainly. So we'll read the translation given by Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All of you must now give all support, full support to Grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army. Duryodhana, after pausing the prowess of Bhishma, further considered that others might think that they had been considered less important, so in his usual diplomatic way, he tried to adjust the situation in the above words. He emphasized that Bhishma Dev was undoubtedly the greatest hero, but he was an old man, so everyone must especially think of his protection from all sides. He might become engaged in the fight, and the enemy might take advantage of his full engagement on one side. Therefore, it was important that other heroes not leave the strategic positions and allow the enemy to break the phalanx. Duryodhana clearly felt that the victory of the Kurus depended on the presence of Bhishma Dev. He was confident of the full support of Bhishma Dev and Dronacharya in the battle because he well knew that they did not even speak a word when Arjuna's wife Draupadi, in their helpless condition, had appealed to them for justice while she was being forced to appear naked in the presence of all great generals in the assembly. Although he knew that the two generals had some sort of affection for the Pandavas, he hoped that these generals would now completely give it up and they had gone during the gambling performances. 12th sloka tasya sanjayan harsham kuru vrida pitamaha simhanadam vinadyochai shankam dhadmo pratapavan. The Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch-shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of the lion, giving Duryodhana joy. The grandsire of Kuru dynasty could understand the inner meaning of the heart of his grandson Duryodhana, and out of his natural compassion for him, he tried to cheer him by blowing his conch-shell very loudly, befitting his position as a lion. Indirectly, by the symbolism of the conch-shell, he informed his depressed grandson Duryodhana that he had no chance of victory in the battle because the Supreme Lord Krishna was on the other side, but still it was his duty to conduct the fight and no pains would be spared in that connection. So Hare Krishna, by the purports of Srila Prabhupada, we can understand that Duryodhana is adopting different strategies so that Bhishma and Dronacharya, the great generals and the great warriors, the grandsire of Bhishma, the oldest man, the greatest hero, celebrated in all the universes, and the celebrated Brahmachari, the Bhishmacharya, the most celebrated Brahmachari, and the most powerful warrior of among all the Kuru dynasties. So here Duryodhana is asking all other kings and his armymen to support the grandsire of Kuru dynasty, Bhishma Dev, so that he can wage war. He can wage war against Pandavas in a glorious manner. So that's what his intention. That's what the intention of Duryodhana was. So Duryodhana was thinking that Bhishma is so lenient and affectionate towards the other side, the Pandavas. That's why he was so anxiety. So Bhishma may or Dronacharya may because of their lenience towards Pandavas, they may slant towards their side and leave the side of Duryodhana. That was his analogy. That was the analogy and the thoughts of Duryodhana. So that is why he was in anxiety, he was in fear, he was so scared. Because, but one thing Duryodhana knows pretty well, that in the assembly of Kuru, when Draupadi was disrobed, though Draupadi was pleasing and requesting humbly in a great manner, and she was crying so that Bhishma and Dronacharya can rescue her in that awkward and in that awkward positions, in that awkward state. So, but still, in spite of her request, in spite of her crying and anxiety, Bhishma and Dronacharya didn't even utter a single word. Um, that was the break. That is a breakthrough for Duryodhana. So Duryodhana thought, no, they will not support Pandavas. They will not be lenient to Pandavas. They will not be concession towards Pandavas. So all these things we can understand, analyze that the concept of the demons like Duryodhana will be like this, so that we have to be very careful, so that these criminal strategies and the enviousness towards others should not come into her heart. So that we should learn from this particular sloka on chapter. So the whole first chapter, it's dealing with the diplomatic relations and diplomatic strategies adopted by Duryodhana, and how one can utilize the great warriors like Bhishma and Dronacharya, so that they can be melted, so that their heart can be melted and slant towards adharmic side. So that was the uh, idea, that was the what can I say, the plan, mood and mission of Duryodhana. So Bhishma was he was unmatchable, unrelated, uncomparable, powerful warrior. So nobody can stand in front of Bhishma. Bhishma was a Maharat, was a great warrior. Though he is old, he was not reluctant to fight with Pandavas. So now we can see in the modern world, all the old people, they take the shelter of the different electronic gadgets, and they will be at home in the safest place. And also here Prabhupada mentions that in olden days, like in Kurukshetra, all the soldiers will not be in the front. All the great leaders like Bhishma, Dronacharya, Yudhishthira Maharaj, Bhishma, Bhima, Bhimasen, Arjuna, all the great warriors and the leaders will be in the front, and the soldiers will be in the back. But now in modern society, all the leaders will be in their safety place, having a gala time, having a gala time in their AC rooms, and they will be whiling away their fooling away their lives without Krishna consciousness, and without giving protection to the people of the society. And they will be more selfish rather than selfless. So that is the criteria of modern politicians now. So now you can compare how the Vedic civilization was having a very compatible and very planned, systematic, methodological organization and governing bodies they had. So in olden days, before the war started, they used to blow the consuls. So now in modern days, they use these whistles and different types of symbolical instruments, which doesn't have any auspiciousness. But in olden days, the whole day they were fighting, and in the night they used to get together and they used to have a very good feast. They used to have a friendly relationship, and they used to receive the guest. So Atiti Satkara, they used to do it in olden days. And so the Bhishma, in old days also, he was very strong. He was not reluctant to fight. But Dhritarashtra was physically incapable of waging a war. So he didn't turn up to the war field. So in olden days, in Vedic civilization, fighting means no rest. Continue fighting till I should die or the other should die. That was the whole criteria of fighting. Not like in modern world. shelling bombs and downpouring the different types of arms and ammunitions, so that the common civilians will be affected. Not like that. In Vedic civilization, there was a system how to fight, there was a system how to wage war against others. For everything there was rules and regulations was there. So everybody was following the rules and regulations. So war means leaders will be in the front, and now war means the leaders will always have they will be always in safest places, so that they will not their lives will not get affected at all. So that was the system in this modern world now. So, reluctant, and the fight will go on throughout the day, like how Bhimashen and Jarasandha was fighting. So till 28 days they were fighting. Nobody was killed, and nobody has won the war. And ultimately Krishna has come to the rescue of Bhimasen, and Krishna has given the hint to Bhimasen that the Jarasandha is not an ordinary person. He is he has that power of um, rejoining his body again. So you have to bifurcate his body into two parts. So that was the origin, that was the thing he was when he was born, because his mother had lot of siddhis. In those days, all these uh, rakshasis, the demoness used to have so many tantric and siddhis powers they had. So even if the body gets bifurcated, by chanting some mantras, they reunite the body. They had that siddhis. So by the using that method, Jarasandha's mother bifurcate. I mean, when she reunited the body of Jarasandha, when she got in the river, when she got that Jarasandha, the boy in the river. So Krishna gave that hint to Bhimasen. So Bhimasena adopted that policy, followed that policy, and he bifurcated his body and killed Jarasandha. That was the real fighting. That was the nature of the fighting in the olden days in Vedic civilization. So then, so the fighting should go on, and one should be killed. So it should be a challenging factor, that whether I should kill or you should kill. So that was the Kshatriyas fighting spirit they had in olden days. So, and also you should know that in fourth chapter Krishna is quoting the sloka of Chaturvarnam uh, that is Chaturvarnam Guna Karma Vibhagashaya. He says the society is divided into four divisions: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra. And Brahmana is Yajana, Yajana, Patanu, Patanu, Gnana, Dhana, Paritragnaya. That means he should recite the Vedic civilization. He should study Vedas and distribute Vedas to other people, and he should give Krishna consciousness to everybody. And Kshatriya is to rule the kingdom and to give protection to the people, and the Vaishya is giving protection to animals, and you can do the Krishi, Go Raksha, Vanijam. He can do Vanija, he can do business. So the main duty of Brahmana is to give Raksha, give protection to Kshatriyas, and Kshatriyas give protection to Vaishyas, and Vaishyas will give protection to animals. So Go Raksha is the major concentration, and we should throw more light and focus on Go Rakshas. That's where the present modern society is lacking now. There should be a separate ministry for Go Raksha. There should be a separate concentration. The minister or the government authorities should give more attention, and they should be very serious in giving Rakshana, giving protection to cows, because Go Raksha and Go Seva is the most vital and the major part of our society. So that's where we are lacking now. That's why we are having not peace at all in the world. Everywhere chaos, everywhere doshas, and everywhere confusions, everywhere disturbance in the society, because there is no Go Raksha, because there is no protection to cows. And go and see, the poor cow gives so much milk, like mother gives to the baby, and everybody is enjoying with that milk. Morning, evening, night, every time they are having the nice thick cow milk. And once if we take milk from the cow, it is mother. Cow is a mother, because in Shastras there are 7 mothers, as you know very well, that Gomata is one of the mothers, and the Bhumi is Prithvi is one of our mother, and the nurse, she is one of the mother, and the wife of a guru and the wife of a king is also one of the mother, and the mother of and the wife of and the our own mother who was given birth. All these 7 mothers should give the whole protection, should give the full protection. That should be taken care by the government authorities. So that is the major thing we are lacking here. That is why everywhere untimely rains, untimely winter, untimely summer, different and seasons are getting disturbed. The ritus are getting disturbed, and the major havocs are major cities and villages are having a lot of havocs and chaos, and there is heavy misunderstandings between society and government and the people. So it has been catastrophed. The whole society is catastrophed because of not giving Rakshana to Gomatas. So that is why each and every citizen of the society, of the country, should personally know, should voluntarily know, should mandatorily know that the cow should be given protection. Not just that taking milk from the cow and just kill it off. It's like killing your own mother. You just realize, you just understand, analyze. Just you're taking taking a birth from your mother. The mother gives the birth, and as soon as she gives birth, and you just kill him by taking a sword and or a knife. It's just like that. So taking milk from the cow and just killing the cow like that. So like a poor creature. So she has to give milk and she has to get killed. So one should study the Vedic civilization. One should study the Shastras under the bona fide spiritual master. And one should buy Bagavad Gita. So we are spending so many lakhs and lakhs and lakhs, millions and millions of rupees for the film industries, for different political organizations, for different services, for different social and cultural activities. But nobody is ready to invest, or nobody is ready to sponsor to the temples where we give Vedic civilization. That's what Prabhupada gives. We have opened the temples. We are opening the temples still now. And we are... why? Because the only major reason is to know about the Vedas, to know about the aim of human life. So that is why Prabhupada emphasizing more on Vedic civilization. So studies Vedas, studies Bhagavad Gita as it is. Study the appropriate bona fide Shastras given by the bona fide gurus. Evam parampara praptam imam raja shiva vidu. That is why we are concentrating more, we are giving more stress to the society of the people to take up Shastras, to take up Bhagavad Gita. If you don't understand, come to our centers. We have opened more centers. In everywhere, in Tamil Nadu there are many centers. In online there are so many courses. Throughout internationally, we have all the centers. We have so many 1,008 to 1,050 centers we have opened. Not just because sitting in the AC room and we having a gala time. No, to give to the people, to give to the society, to the Vedic civilization, to give, to know, to give awareness to the people, so that the people can understand Vedas, so that people can follow the Vedas and they can apply to their in their daily life, in their daily practical life. That is why we are opening up the centers, not just because giving a good glorious inauguration, celebrating, investing, inviting the guests and all. No, having a nice prasadam. No, no, not for that all. To give divine prasadam, to give sankirtana yagna. That is why if you want nice food rains, nice timely rains, you should do sankirtana yagna. That is why Krishna says, according to this Kali Yuga, sankirtana yagna is recommended. Kaler dosha nidhi raja astiyako mahan gunan. Kirtanadeva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Brajet. Krishna says in Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto that Kali is filled with doshas. But no yagna is recommended in Kali Yuga. Only yagna is Sankirtana yagna. If you want rains, see, all living entities are dependent on rains. So annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyo anna sambhava. Yagnad bhavati parjanyo yagna karma samudbhava. So everybody is dependent on rains. So if you want grains, you have, we need parjanya. Yagnat bhavati parjanya. If you want rains, then you have to do yagna karma samudbhavaha. We need rains. So to get rains, we should do sankirtana yagna. So that is why we are lacking everywhere, in each and every place we are there are no rains. As Prabhupada said, once Prabhupada went to Hyderabad, and from past so many 3 years they were not having rains at all in Hyderabad. And when Prabhupada recommended and gave us a tremendous and beautiful talk about Sankirtana Yagna, then people have accepted and taken up the words of Prabhupada, and they started doing Sankirtana Yagna throughout a week. And after 1 week or 2 weeks, so if you have in old newspapers 70s or 75s, then you can have that. Even now we have that newspaper article that it has published that after the Sankirtana Yagna by Prabhupada and other devotees, there were heavy rains in Hyderabad. So not only rains, even if you want Shanti, you must take up the advantage of Sankirtana Yagna, that is chanting the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. These 16 syllables are iti sodasakam nam kali kalmashanasanam natara paratarapaya sarva vedeshu drishyate. So the 16 syllables are not, it's not a simple words, it's holy names. Directly comes from Goloka Vrindavana, that is the highest planet of Vaikuntha Loka. So I humbly request, and I wholeheartedly from the core of my heart, I request all the citizens of the society to chant the holy names of the Lord and give protection to Gomatas, and try to protect them as far as possible, so that we can have a very systematic and peaceful living in our society. So Vedic civilization is a nice arrangement. Chaturvarna guna karma vibhagashaya. The society is divided into 4 parts according to their guna and karma, not by birth. Brahmana is not by birth, Brahmana is by guna. Kshatriya is by guna. So one should be guided by a bona fide Brahmanas who are following very seriously and sincerely the Vedic hymns and Vedic injunctions. So not as a namesake. So namesake, a Brahmana should not be for a namesake. He should guide the society. Those days all the Kshatriyas were guided by Brahmanas. Like kings like Yudhishthira Maharaj, there were no famines. There were no natural disorders, and natural disharmony was not there at all, because the king was the saintly person. He was nicely guiding the people by dharmic path. And So kamam bavarsha parjanyo. We are more dependent on grains, and grains are more dependent on rains, and rains are dependent on sankirtana yagna. Without water pouring, there will not be any. We cannot expect any good results from the society or from the mother nature. If you want to please the mother nature, so we should do sankirtana yagna. That sankirtana yagna is nothing but Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, without water cannot be produced by any corporate sectors or by any ugra karmas. It should be given by Mother Nature, and the Mother Nature is wholly dependent on the mercy of Krishna. Hare Krishna. Our present moment, only Sankirtana Yagna is available. Everything is adjusted by chanting the holy names of the Lord. So people has to take the advantage of this Sankirtana Yagna. We have centers in all the places, almost in all the places. So please, even it is uploaded in the Google also, so that you can find out the address. Everywhere it is there. ISKCON centers are there. Everywhere devotees are there. You can take up the advantage. You can take their guidance, so that you can follow your follow the Vedic civilization nicely. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So Bhishma knows pretty well. ಫುಟ್ಬಾಲ್ ಆಡ್ತಾವೆ ಅದೇ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಓಡಿಸ್ಬಿಡೋದು ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಅವಳೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡವಳೆ.